Welcome to Levyland with me, the Reverend Bob Levy, Rob Soul, and Chris Abels. It's Tuesday, and we are back. We got a fun show for you tonight, you fucking
Hi,
pussies.
everybody.
Oh, fuck you. We have
Fuck you.
Alex Stein coming on later, a internet sensation, a talented motherfucker. I'm a huge fan of. He'll be coming on later, and we have all night with him, so we're gonna have a good time. It's just a crazy day, a crazy day. Every day is a fucking crazy day, and I'm the most sick motherfucker out there, and I don't like crazy days. And I'm trying to do Doug Almeida's podcast earlier, and everybody tags me on Twitter with stupid photos. Stupid photos. It's not a comedian plugging a gig, and I'd be honored to fucking help you out with your fucking career. But fucking a picture of you standing there with a bunch of fucking whores, or fucking goddamn Kevin Brennan's head disabled, dented, and that shit. Like I have OCD, you motherfuckers, and I gotta go back and I gotta check that I've seen everything on there, and it's fucking horse shit that you fucking losers are fucking. Are you that so much into yourself? You have to have a picture of yourself every fucking second. Stop it already with this fucking bullshit. Holy shit, if you got a gig, fucking tag me. I'll be fucking emotionally happy to fucking goddamn help you promote your fucking career. But I don't give a shit if you're sitting next to a fucking two-bit fucking whore at a fucking bar. It doesn't do anything for me.
No.
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry, I'll stop tagging you.
We listen. The thing about Levyland is we put out a product every week, and we come out to entertain you folks. We don't just put a bunch of stupid stuff online and try to be clever with our fucking stupid posts. We come and we bring it to you every week. So stop fucking tagging us in dumb shit, and just sit back and enjoy the show.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, when are you going to get with better than the fucking rest? And you guys got to fucking tag me with bullshit. Like, I got to fucking, you know what I mean? Look, Rob, I fucking, I love to fight with you and the girls and all that shit. I love that shit. But I don't need to be part of your fucking, maybe I'm going to get a hand job fucking thread. Why am I part of that? Why am I part of all that fucking bullshit? Why am I tagged in this shit? I'll find it. I know what's entertaining. I've been doing this a long time. I seem to know what fucking is entertaining and not fucking entertaining. I'll find your fucking thread.
I've tried telling you this before, Bob, is because you respond to everything with your ha's and stuff. So everybody that posts anything on Twitter thinks that they're special because Bob Levy likes their tweets and ha's their tweets. So now everybody feels the need to get you involved in everything because
you don't
they're
get me
so
involved.
Important. Yeah, they're so important.
No. Look, I'd be the first. You post a picture, you fucking balls deep in her ass. Yeah, I'll fucking go ha ha ha. Yeah. I'm your fucking cheerleader, Rob. But I don't need to be part of as you're trying to get fucking pussy. I don't need to be part of this. I mean, come on. I fucking, you know what I mean? I got 100 things going on, and I got to pay attention because somebody fucking tagged me in fucking something so stupid. It's not about promoting your shit. Why would you put me in it? You know what I mean? I seem to find the good ones. I don't know. I'm a good follow on Twitter because I find the good shit that's out there and put it up there and retweet it. But fucking you don't have to tag me with me in a gorilla suit or something. It doesn't mean anything. It's like nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah.
They
got a
sense of urgency. I try to be nice.
Like so important. Yeah. Everything they're saying.
I try to be nice to the fans. Shut the fuck up. I'm talking. I try to be nice to the fucking fans. I am nicer than anybody out there to the fucking fans. Nicer than anybody. I've done things for fans that they fucking would never do even if they were best friends with Howard Stern. They wouldn't let him in the fucking building, and I was able to do shit. But it's a time. Don't tag me in your stupid shit. I don't have fucking time for this shit. The ding, 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 or just the fucking goddamn fucking the phone just fucking vibrating because you got a fucking picture with a chick. I gotta fucking be part of your fucking stupid life. I don't, you know what I mean? If I want you part of my fucking life, I'll fucking post it, and then we'll talk about it. But I don't want to be part of your fucking life because I'm not part of it. All right? There's a small part that's part of my fucking thing. You know what I mean? Go fuck yourself. You know what I mean? It's unbelievable. Everybody, I got to get tagged in this stupid shit. If you're promoting your job, I'll be gladly to retweet it and fucking be part of it. But I don't give a shit if you're fucking goddamn putting in, a picture that means nothing. You're going to tag me in a conversation that I got shit going on, and basically, everybody in that fucking thread has something going on, not just me. And they gotta go in there and fucking comment because it's talking about fucking goddamn aluminum siding by the time I get in there. Are you fucking kidding me?
Rob, the mute yourself. Conversation button is your friend. Mute conversation. When you get in one of these threads up and hit mute conversation, you get no alerts in that whole fucking thread of bullshit. I've used.
I'm doing that. I never thought I would go to that being a fucking goddamn douchebag. A post, a thread. It's a thread on fucking whatever it is, A. Smith, asshole Smith, probably. But the whole thing is that it's like leave me. I'll be part of it. I love everybody. I'll be part of it. I'll find it if it's that fucking good. You know what I mean? I'm God, motherfucker. I find shit like this. You don't have to tell me that I'm part of it. You know what I mean? Look, we don't give a shit. We don't give a fuck if we're part or not part of anything, because we give a show that fucking is honest. That's the whole thing. We're not making believe this, making believe that for doing this shit. That's what makes the best thing. And I know who the best people out there are for the fact that that's what they do. You know what I mean? You're not going to go, Brennan's going to go, hey, Bob, make believe I push you down the stairs and then we'll go live. Yeah, get that Kevin Brennan fucking bell ready, because he's the only one. If that man had fucking, I just wish that he would not worry about relationships and friends and realize what the best show would be to put out there right now. You know what I mean? And stop fucking worrying about friendships, because friendships are a great thing. But if you understand what the goal is in the future, you know what I mean? That doesn't come into play. That doesn't affect it. You know what I mean? There ain't many people that you can work with and go, oh my God, you know what I mean? These people understand what I'm talking about. And this is what is brilliant. And that's why we do this shit. We all do this shit. We do this shit every fucking week. You know what I mean? And I don't need bullshit. I don't need not being able to get on the YouTube at 7 and make believe I know what I'm saying the time before, and I can just fucking, you know what I mean? Let me tell you something. But nightmares, you know what? I'm the fucking nightmare. I'm the fucking nightmare. I am the fucking God, but I'm also your fucking nightmare when you fucking go
look like
against
Freddy
me.
Krueger.
It doesn't matter. I will fucking kill everybody. I fear nothing. I fear nothing in life. You can I've had guns put to my head. It didn't affect me. Am I still alive? Yeah, because I didn't go, please don't kill me. No, because there's no reason to that. Because I didn't act like a little bitch. And that's how I live my life.
By a grown man yet?
Yeah. Fucking Will Smith. Fucking save that shit for a second. But the whole thing is that everything I do, I give it my all, motherfucker. I give it my all. Whether people understand that it's better than everybody else. You know what I mean? It's okay. It's okay. You know what I mean? Because what are you afraid of? Are you afraid of the product? Are you afraid of the man? Are you afraid of the honesty? And that's what's wrong with this business. The honesty has left the business, and it doesn't matter how good you are. And I know I'm far from high right now. I'm telling you the facts and the way it is. More people, fucking. You think Sam Kinison would have made it in these days? Coming in all coked out and fucking screaming fucking whores, doing what he wants. Nobody would put up with it, even no matter how talented. There's only certain people that would and understand what great radio is. There's a very few, and I can cut fingers off my hand to get to that fucking number. Okay? I can cut fingers off my hand and get down to the fucking people that are real in this business. I'll fucking do it. One. I don't have a fucking knife. I got a hammer. I'll smash them right on the fucking. But if people can't handle, People can't handle the truth. That's okay. Nobody can handle the truth. It's always pushed to the side to something else, which makes no fucking sense of what the original thought was. You know what I mean? It's because you can't answer it. You can't. If you can't answer something, you're not fucking. You're not in my league. You're not in my league. Okay, and I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? There's fucking, goddamn it, you know what I mean? There's only two people that I totally respect as broadcasters in this business right now.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
Rob Saul and
Chris Abel.
No, well, besides you guys, you're family already, so I don't have to talk about it. That's Anthony Comia and fucking Kevin Brennan. Those are the only. That's where you want to be. That's where you want to be in this business. You don't want to be working for anybody else with them. That's it. And Gino, I love. You know what I mean? I love him and Aaron. What they did on the show, it's amazing. That's it. That's it.
Do you see Michael Gavin Ali is gunning for Aaron's spot on In Hot Water now? I thought he was delusional and trying to get me to book guests for him, and now he wants he wants the Aaron chair on In Hot Water.
Let me tell you something. Look, I like him. I like him. He's a fucking pain in the ass. You know what I mean? When am I coming back on the Levyland? He tells me. I didn't even know he was on. Was he on?
Yeah, he never was. No.
He was on because our old producer brought him on because I was bitching about him. So he thought it would be fucking clever to bring him on, and the fans hated it. They hated it. The fans were like,
"Of course they did."
Yeah,
but he's creepy. He's creepy. Yeah. He hits you up too much. He's like, "Get out of my inbox unless you're showing me your pussy, sir." You know what I mean? I don't need you this shit. You know what I mean? It's fucking ridiculous. You know, he's going to go over there. Yeah, he's going to take over nothing. You know what I mean? But he has drive. The guy has a drive. He has no future, but he has drive. And I appreciate the drive part. But you have to drive into a tree when you realize you have no fucking talent. You have no fucking talent. What's a bit? Little bit. You don't have any. You got drive. So drive it into a fucking river and drown yourself. Just stay away from the fucking big boys. Stay away. You're not in the fucking league. Don't ever think you can go on there because you see everybody thinks that they are the fucking game, but they go on and they drop the ball. They drop the ball because they don't have it. They don't have it. You know what I mean? God damn it. If people were honest about what the fuck they is seen, you'd be fucking, they'd be like, oh, I had no idea you didn't like that person. No talent. There's no talent. Talk to a fucking, a pull string doll. You know what I mean? There's your guest. Holy shit.
I'm talking Tina, and I want to kill you. The Twilight Zone.
It's so funny. I can. A business of comedy. Let me explain. Comedians go on radio and they're like, they try to get the line in. Most people know. Some people, the good people, know how to fucking basically go. Okay, this is when I pop in. Okay, but other people are just like trying to pop in. Women comedians go on there. Somebody will say something like, and then fucking they're dropping bombs all over Russia, and they like, and then this is what they do. Yeah, dropping bombs all over Russia, and it's like, that's what I'm talking about. So you're having a conversation with somebody just parroting what you say. And it's not fucking entertaining. You wanted to change in a fucking boom split second to go, where the fuck did this go to? That's what's great radio. And that's what I fucking miss. I don't care about feelings. I don't care about friends. I want to put something out that's better than everybody. It's everybody can handle it. The big boys can handle it. The big boys can handle a little fucking slap in the fucking face. Not like fucking, you know what I mean? Not a Will Smith slap, but I'm talking about a fucking good slap or a fucking kick in the fucking head. And realize that this is fucking great radio. But they're dropping bombs. Yeah, you got a fucking parrot here. Open your fucking cunt or nobody cares. Okay, that's the whole fucking thing. That nobody gives a fuck. Like, you know what I mean? It's like you send out the wrong bullshit to people. You complain, all about how people are loving, and then you smack Chris Rock in the fucking face. Are you fucking kidding me? Unbelievable.
Now,
would've kicked
Chris
him.
Rock is a tiny little black man, and that's the thing. I said, if you had somebody like The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson up there, and he made that joke, let me tell you, that pussy wouldn't have got out of his chair and went up there and slapped that man. He was trying to act like a tough guy, and with the saddest part of it all is that you're a cuck. Your wife was fucking your son's friends, and you're up there trying to act like a tough guy because someone made a G.I. Jane joke. I mean, I was embarrassed for him. I mean, it was just, and believe me, everybody knows my story. We don't need to reiterate it. And I'm embarrassed for this man. That'd be like me going up to defend my ex-wife. And, it's just, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. You should have slapped him.
No, because it's ridiculous that, thank God Chris Rock is a professional. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Anywhere else, I would have said if you didn't beat the fuck out of him, you're a pussy. But he was being a professional, and he handled it like a professional at the Oscars. Even Chris Rock, I'm at the Oscars. You know what I mean? Whatever the fuck he babbles. But but the whole thing is, he could have also made fun of his cancer-ridden looking wife. You know what I mean? How it's fucking, he's got every fucking cock in her all over the fucking place.
Oh, I know.
And do you think by smacking Chris Rock, that's going to make you a man again after your wife had so much fucking foreign cum in her? If it was oil, we'd be paying fucking 3 cents a gallon. You think that's going to fucking change? Now you're a man because you slapped somebody?
This woman must have a pussy of fucking gold, because I couldn't imagine out in public, your wife saying she's fucking other guys, she's fucking your kid's friend, and then you're jumping up. You're like a successful dude. Like Will Smith could probably pulling a lot of fucking hot pussy better than that fucking bald-headed looking Ethiopian looking wife he has now. And he's going up and open hand slapping grown men because they made fun of not even made fun of her, but just made a remark about her haircut. It's humiliating. I mean, God, what a cuck. I mean, of all the cucks of the cuck world, that is super cuck Will Smith.
No, you're totally right. It's embarrassing. You know what I mean? I mean, the smack was good. The smack is smack is better than the punch thing, saying you're a bitch. Okay, I totally understand the smack thing. It's worked for many years. You know what I mean? Even when in the 1940s, when dinner came and it was a little cold. You know what I mean? They knew to go back and warm it up, so they knew it was coming. But
the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air became an old queen, slapping. How dare you, slapping him across the face? Give me a break. I said Jada Pinkett's other boyfriend would probably do a closed fist because he's a real man. But I mean, it's insane to me that another grown man whose wife is publicly fucking other guys goes up and open hand and slaps another man on the Oscar stage. It's absurd to me.
The Oscars won. They won. Nobody watches. But everybody's talking about it.
Well,
so
you know
what? I don't think it was. I mean, was it set up? People are saying it's set up. It's not set up.
It's not set up, but fucking, it's ridiculous that a man that his wife is fucking everybody thinks that's gonna go. Oh my God! Now you got my attention. I'm gonna smack all these cocks out of my twat. It doesn't work that way. You already lost it, dude. It's gone. You're way back from that. If you killed every man in the world, she'd still stick a fucking branch up a cunt. It's just the way it is.
A branch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
And get slapped by a twig. Who gives
but
a shit
it's
about
ridiculous.
Her? I mean,
yeah, nobody cares about her. She wants to sit there all frowny. Stay home, cancer head. Stay home.
And then, and that's stupid. Like, how old are you? This man is in his 40s or 50s. Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. That's like what the kids say. Keep my name out your mouth. Keep my wife's name out your motherfucking mouth. Like, that's the least of your concerns of what's in your wife's mouth, or it's just insane to me.
Yeah, you can keep your dick in, but don't keep your fucking,
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. You lost it. You lost it where it counts. You're not a man. You know what I mean? You're staying around because you're a fucking bitch, And, he could probably fuck tons of women out there and most guys, and maybe that's what he needs. He needs a good ass fucking, and he's like, I was playing a role where I was like, William's father, so I was abusive, so he's playing that, and he's like a method act the people are saying. Yeah. But then I'm saying, if he played a rapist, would he have fucked Chris Rock in the ass that night, and said, hey, I'm just still in this character? You know what I mean?
Well, he bent over the tip in, just like the slap. I mean, I'm sure Serena and Venus's father were actually punching people. They weren't like bitch slapping them. So as far as rape, he would have just had to, slide the tip in just a wee bit.
But that's what it is. It's an excuse. Everything's an excuse for him. It's basically saying that, hey, kids, look up to me. It's okay to smack somebody because, as you can see, nothing happens. So, maybe people should go around smacking Will Smith when you see him. You know what I mean? I'd love to see.
Could you imagine if it was a white guy that went up there and slapped Chris Rock across the face? They would have been banned from Hollywood. They would have had their Oscar stripped from them. They would have been escorted out. If that was a white person that went up and slapped Chris Rock in the face, it would have been finito, done.
Oh yeah, they would have been living with Pete Rose. They would have made him live with Pete Rose. You know what I mean? It's just the way it is. It's like one rules for you, one rules for me. And it doesn't work that way. I'm sorry. It doesn't work that way. People notice it after a while that this is bullshit. It's like you can't make up rules and say this is okay or ignore it. If you're so much about your people, say, hey, let's not go into stores and take. That's kind of wrong. You know what I mean? That's like, you got to pay for it before you, but not to say anything and blame another group of people for if I blame people for the way I acted, I'd be lying. I know all my acting is on my side. I know everything I do is me. It's nothing. Nobody is making me do it. You know what I mean? It just doesn't work that way. Sorry. So fucking calm the fuck down, get your shit together, and then fucking talk to us. Because right now it's like ridiculous. You got two different rules. What the fuck? Hey man, I wish Chris Rock would have shot him right there. And they would have blamed Chris Rock. No, he was holding his ground.
Standing his ground. Yes. Stand your ground, laws. Did you get that?
No, it's just ridiculous. Boy. You know what I mean? And I hope Chris Rock beats the fuck out of him. You know what I mean?
Well, listen, there's a lot going on in the world, but our guest is here tonight, and I what a fucking fantastic guy. This guy's like an internet sensation. He trolls city councils. I'm going to bring in our guest. Let's roll a quick clip of some of our guest work, Sean. Go ahead and play.
I came to this one. But
you guys are going to sit here and you're not going to take me seriously. You're going to laugh at me. I'm trying to compete. And yes, I was born a boy. So what, guys? This is 2022. It doesn't matter what you were born. We have Ketanji Brown Jackson even says she doesn't even know what a woman is. So then I'm a woman. So that's what you guys have to do. If the Supreme Court justice is on my side, then why can't I get the same from the Plano City Council? That's the problem, is I come here and I'm still a victim of transphobia. Yet we have champions like my girl Leah, my sister, and she gets to win, but I don't. Why not? That's what I'm asking you. Why not? Why can't I swim against the ladies? Why are we having a transphobic world where I just want to compete against the ladies? Why are you saying that I'm not a biological woman? Clearly, I look like a biological woman. I mean, come on. It's been hours tucking this thing in. Give me a break. I should be able to swim. And I'm on so much hormone therapy, I don't even know left or right anymore. So I'm doing this. I don't have an unfair advantage. No way. So I need you guys to stand up. We have a city issue, Rick, and we can actually fix this and let me compete against the ladies. I'm sick of these women. Oh, you're having an unfair advantage. Yeah, right. And I'm mentally ill, and they won't even let me compete in the Special Olympics. So go figure. Think about that. I can't compete in the Special Olympics, and I can't compete against women. What kind of bigotry is that? Are you guys going to let that stand? I wouldn't let that stand. If I were y'all, I would stand up for me, because in the future, they're going to write these in the history books, and they're going to have to decide what side Plano was on. Were they transphobes? Or were they transpositive? And obviously, I'm transpositive. So that's what I want. I want you guys to wake up to what's going on in the world and tell the City of Plano Swim League to let me compete against the ladies. I've been on hormone blockers for nearly 2 weeks now. And like I said, I'm so messed up from them, I'm probably going to lose anyway. But I can send that tape to a college, and I might get a scholarship, Julie. So don't look at me with your eyes looking at me all mean. I'm out here trying to change for you. This is women's rights. I'm standing up for women's rights. Thank you. It's Primetime Stein on Instagram if you guys want to learn how to swim against the ladies. Thank y'all so much.
Oh, my God.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome our guest. We love him. He is, you can follow him on Twitter at AlexStein99. He is a internet sensation, a city council troll, and I love the fucking fella. Alex Stein, how are you today?
Man, I'm the town hall terrorizer. I'm going to be at my house in 2 seconds. I thought I had 30 minutes, and I got caught in traffic. So I'm going to have a better studio and better sound in 2 minutes. I'm walking to my house, but I'm behind these. I'm behind these a-holes, behind these kids on these bicycles. They're going crazy slow. I don't know if you can see it, but listen, Bob, I'm a diehard fan, and listen, why does Howard Stern suck so bad this day and age? I mean, I know it's not the Bash Howard Stern hour; it's the Bob Levy show. But why did he go so woke? And I'm saying, was he turning into a scumbag? Obviously, the way he treated you and he treated Artie and stuff, like, this is my question. There used to be that Stern fan network that used to bash him, and I was still blinded by it. I'm like, why did they bash him? Did you know before everybody else that he was a scumbag?
No, I wouldn't say. Well, I seen it changing. I seen it changing, and I seen the big pussy coming out and saying you can't do this, you can't do this. We can't have a guy like you. All this bullshit, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna leave. I'm just gonna leave. And oh my God, he looks like a house of fucking burglar. No, but I can see the way it was. They had other people by then. They had fucking other people that were basically in charge, blocking everything that you can't say this, try not to say the C word early in the morning because it's a repeat on Miserable Men. Because the replay on Miserable Men, and it goes on in the morning, and there could be kids in the car. And I'm like, this isn't what I signed up for, and it's getting really weak and that shit. And I said, I'm just going to quit. And then they wouldn't let me kind of quit. And then they said I attacked security, and then I threatened to kill him and his wife, and then the FBI was involved and everybody.
What? Dude, that's such bullcrap. I mean, he loves to play a victim. He's like the...
Oh!
No, he's going to switch over, but he's going to switch over. But yeah, he loves to play. He loves to play the victim on something like that because of the fact, it's like if you can't get your way, it's like, all right, I'm going to fuck him up, but and have your little people. You don't have your little people do it. You do it. It comes from you. And you
by little people, you mean Ronnie?
No. It's him, Sabian, everyone else. There's so many people before they lost all that, one-on-one time when he started turning. And you can see he was starting to turn. He was getting away. He was getting friends with these people. Oh, I love these people. You know what I mean? You hated them your whole fucking life. And now
all of a sudden they're like the best. Like he's friends with Jen Aniston. Look at this. Hey, look at this. A professional guy. This is the guy I saw on the Tucker Carlson show. Look at you, sir.
Okay, so sorry.
You're a legend in the making, Mr. Stein.
Oh, no, he's going big time.
You are.
Prime time, big time.
Yeah, right. I
wish. Okay, but I'm so mad they cut off my microphone. I just spoke at a Fort Worth City Council meeting, and I called the superintendent, not a city council, school board meeting, and I called the superintendent bald, and they cut off my microphone. And so, yeah, I mean, I was, yes. And then I got caught in traffic. It's just a freaking cluster. You know how it is.
What happened to freedom of speech? You can't mention that the principal was bald? What's going on?
Not after last.
Dude, no, social justice warriors, you cannot do that. I mean, listen, no, not in this day and age. But like I said, Bob, I'm a diehard fan. I still actually go back, and I don't know if you do this. Do you go back and listen to old episodes of Stern? Like I probably do every night to go to sleep, just because that was back in the heyday.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? No,
it was
Bob,
totally
do you do that?
No, I mean, I watch more clips, or somebody sends me a clip and says, like, the Crystal Clear interview is, like, classic. And there's certain ones, the one I started with, I brought the hot chicken that only wanted to fuck fat guys for Artie, and he called
that was the biggest. That's what started the whole fight. That was the end of it. That's when he called him Bird Beak, or what did he call them? He called him
a pelican. Yeah, a
pelican.
But
yes,
but you get it. You get what radio is. Radio is you're friends with the people, but if something comes up and they try to fuck you, you fuck them back, and the emotions run real on the radio, and that's a lost art. And it was losing that. It was like losing. Well, you can make believe. You can't make believe anything.
So is a lot of them fake now? Is it all fake bullcrap now? Like all the office drama and stuff, in your opinion?
What is?
Well, I mean, I don't know what office drama they have now, but I'm saying, like, do you think the show got fake with Marcy Turk? Like, was it all contrived or something? Because, like, I feel like it was edgy. The Artie days, and you look at Howard, dude, he basically let Artie kill himself with drugs and let him sleep on the air. I mean, no, he really took advantage of a guy that was sick on drugs. And that's the other thing is, dude, you look at how Howard, I'm the biggest Eric the Midget, Eric the Actor fan ever, dude. I mean, I loved Eric Lynch. I listen to his stuff all the time still. And, dude, the way he treated him as a disabled, crippled guy, make him sit on the phone for hours when that was the best phone call he ever had of the day, he would actually do that to piss him off, to irk him. And that's what makes me mad. Dude, he literally took advantage of a cripple. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, in my opinion.
No, you totally, that's what it is. It's totally, it's like, especially when, their real lives, sometimes it's sad, sometimes they have shit going on, and you can take care of them. You should take care of them a little bit, but a lot of them had a lot of problems that it was like, okay, because it's radio, when I first there, I sat in the second week, the full week with Artie and that. And I remember it was Martin Luther King Day, and we're working. And then they're breaking up. Yeah, if they think I'm coming back next year, they're fucking idiots for this. You know what I mean? It was a selling thing because you were there. And as you can see, any day he could take off, he would take off after a certain time.
Yeah, I know he hardly works. But dude, Bob, and also, man, when you babysitted Beetlejuice, I don't know how you did that. Tell me, what was that like? Were you with him when he was still drinking and getting high, or were you with him when he was sober?
No, he was. I don't remember him being sober, but the whole thing is that we had to hide.
Anything at that point.
No, he wanted to do what I did. So if I had a drink, he'd want some of it. So I had to go, I'm not drinking. We're going to only pussies drink. And then we weren't drinking for a little while. But like when I was in Kentucky, they made me my own bourbon. It was a fucking Reverend Bob Levy instead of whatever the label was. And he found, I walk upstairs because I hid it. And he's pouring that and vodka into a big glass, mixing it together. And I'm like, we had a big fucking fight. I'm getting yelled at by a fucking 3'4", maybe, retarded midget. And then after the show, we go upstairs. He's getting blown by two girls back and forth.
No!
With a group of
he's getting his dick by two chicks.
With two chicks going back and forth. Everybody's laughing. And one of the girls looks back at me and goes, what are you and Jim doing later? And I'm like, we're not following a retarded fucking midget. You know what I mean? And it was
what? But dude, Jim dated. I mean, dude, he dated Robin. I don't know. I mean, I love Jim Florentine. He's a great comic. He's a great guy. But dude, if I would be softer than wet spaghetti with Robin. I wouldn't. I couldn't stick it in her. You probably could. You're a cocksman.
Well, she was hot for a minute, like a little bit. She.
Well, it wasn't that minute. It wasn't.
Yeah,
that
it wasn't that.
No, but like
that minute.
Yeah, like I never brought it up because it just wouldn't be comfortable. You know what I mean? I never ever said anything to him at the time, during, or even after. I just don't want to know.
Bob, you're like Switzerland. I mean, the only fight you got in, which I think you had a point, is when Dave Chappelle stole your joke for that bit. Yeah. But at the end of the day, dude, they beat you up too much for that. Like, you know what I'm saying? They got mad at you, even though you had evidence that he heard you. And listen, let's be honest, the joke is a little hacky, but the fact is he heard you say that joke. We know that. And then he puts it in the thing. You know what I mean?
How dare you come on here and insult the host?
No, Bob's dude, he's a legendary comedian. I would never insult Bob. I'm just saying, I get why he tried to use that bit, but you know that he heard you say that in a club, and like the way he was so defensive about it, I thought that's kind of seemed like a little telling, in my opinion, when you watch it back.
Well, his writers were there. That's what it is. They were there too. And to be able to say, by the end he said, "Oh, great minds think alike," and then when you say that's an old joke, okay, somebody can say that. That's what they said. Okay, nobody was doing it. I know this for sure. Nobody was doing the joke, and basically, okay, because he's more famous, basically they take his side, and by him taking it, a hack joke that he's saying it is taking it and then using it. What does that make him? What does it make him? But it's all about the dick suckity.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. And like the way Artie kind of cowed down to Dave Chappelle, then I was like, well, Artie is, he's just going with the bigger guy. He's going to go on Dave Chappelle's side. But at the end of the day, Bob, I mean, dude, you did so much for those roasts. You were like there, you were like solid as a rock, and you're a real road dog comedian. Like you gave them credibility, in there, and they just kind of pee. They're like the government. Howard Stern's like the government. He's going to pee on you and tell you it's raining. And that's just how, and the thing is, he didn't just do it to you. He did it to all these other people. So it just makes me sick going back, and I look at this, I look at like you, and I look at these funny bits, and like even the Miserable Men show you listen to, and I mean, like, it's just really good stuff. And Howard Stern just treats his staff like crap. I mean, everybody has the same story. Like that's why, Shuley, I know you're real tight with Shuley. He won't badmouth Howard, but I don't know why. I don't know why he won't badmouth him. He's probably got a bunch of crap to say about him.
Maybe Howard owes him money. I don't know. Who knows?
No, but it's about taking the higher ground. At the beginning, I wasn't like that, and I seem to be better about it now. But yeah, I mean, you got to call out the bullshit. You know what I mean? Because it did totally change, and it was like, okay, me and him have a fight. They would never play me ever on Howard 100 or 101 again. Only way you're going to get any clips of me is on YouTube, where it's on. They had people go into every show that I was on, and take me out. Yeah, and erase me. And if you weren't allowed, there was a rule at the beginning that you weren't allowed to say my name on the show if you were a guest. They told you before.
Dude, you're the one they cannot speak about. I mean, that's ridiculous, Bob. And like he used you for so much
anti-Semitic stuff. I think that's
a little bit. Okay. Okay, I'm a conspiracy theorist. There's a conspiracy that Howard has a big wig on his head, which I'm starting to believe. And then, I know you can't say too much, but they also say him and Ralph are gay butt buddies. What do you think about those two conspiracies?
Okay, the bald one. I mean, I don't know, because I don't look at men like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. I didn't even know black women had weaves all the time.
What? You didn't know they wore weaves? You thought they? Wow.
And then now every time it comes on, I go, "Is that real?" to my wife, and she goes, "No, that's fake." And I really thought that most of them was real here. And like, I don't look at a man like that either, and say, because you don't expect, like, when I see somebody, I've seen people with bad fucking toupees, and you're like, you don't say anything because it's ridiculous. You know what I mean? It's like you're basically saying, oh, and your wife's fat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It's right there. But like, it's like once you seem to be 70 years old and you have fucking hair like Dee Snider did when he was 20. I mean, it's something up. And your second question is that why would you, truthfully, why would you keep a man that has basically no talent around the most brilliant guy that supposedly ever done radio. Why would you keep a man with no talent? Maybe are you saying because he dresses you? Is that a reason to keep? Anybody can dress anybody.
He's got dirt.
Why would you keep?
Dude, he can go to Barney's and get the best designer guy. I mean, way better than him at dressing them.
That's why I love having you on here, because you make so many points about everything. That's why I love you as a guest, because these are things that need to be known. It's like, why would you have a man around? You know what I mean? If this was, say, this is 20 years, 30 years from now, you'd be like, oh, now I get it. When you looked at Robert Reed, you didn't know he was smoking pole like that. You know what I mean? Until you knew.
But Bob, you know he's gay because he says he uses a condom every time. I mean, you use a condom once or twice, and a man slips that thing off and it humps like a man. You don't wear it every time. That's not even sex. I mean, that's how you know his wife is not getting banged good. If they're using a condom every time, they gotta go rip it open and put it on. Dude, that's not real sex. Real sex is like passionate and heated and risky. Like, come on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would not even wear a condom with a fucking prostitute because I'm paying for that. I want to know I'm in that pussy.
Your money's worth.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah, but the whole thing is another thing. It's like fucking like. You get it. What passion is, like anger sex. Anger. When you're angry and you're fucking and you want to kill them, but you want them to come too for some reason. And it's the most fucking amazing sex. But to go, you want to have sex? All right, let me go get a condom. Nobody's going, oh, I can't walk.
Dude, no, he's not dicking her down. And like, this is the other thing is you look at Ralph, he's just always been questionable. He's like, still collects, I'm not against collecting stuff, but like how he's into all that Superman stuff as like an older adult.
That's bizarre.
Dude, nobody's into Clark Kent that old. Nobody's in their 40s and 50s like, oh, I love this Clark Kent doll or whatever crap he was so happy to get. Iron Man. Oh, I got the Iron Man helmet. Dude, even if you like that, you wouldn't admit that. A real man would be like, yeah, it's just, I got it. It's a cool thing. You're not going to sit there and be like, oh, so awesome. I'm Geek Squad. I love this. Oh my gosh. I mean, you just know that he had Howard's balls just in his mouth 24/7 because he would have him at the beach house. And you'd like hear, if you go back and listen, because I go back now, Bob, and I hate listening to Howard because I used to love him like you. There's a point I'm like, oh, this guy's the best broadcaster. But if you really listen, all he did was use Artie, like even like not that Robin's great, but like he just used her as a token black woman. And he's a user. You know what I mean? That's what he does. He's not actually, and he has some jokes. I guess my question for you is like, Benji's hilarious. I love Benji. Like I don't care what anybody says. I think Benji's genuinely funny. So how much did Benji write for Howard? Like, was Howard even that funny is my question, Bob. Now,
here's the whole thing. It's all about delivery, reading. When you're in charge, it's a show. It's basically a show. I sat in it that week, and I was also in to write. But the whole thing is that I'm not a good speller. You're not going to read what I write. But
either am I.
So,
sorry.
But I'm telling you, the papers. Fred had a thing in front of him that you put it up, and you put it backwards, and it would go up in front of Howard. Benji had one, and that me and Artie would use, but Artie never really did that. But I was.
Wait, what do you mean? So it's like a prompter. You would write on it, you'd hold it down, and Howard could see what was on the sheet of paper. So that's how he did it.
Yeah, like as a joke.
I thought it was a computer. So it was a piece of paper. Okay, cool.
It got to be, when I was there the second week on Sirius, when I sat in the whole week, it was paper. And you would write it down. So they were testing me out a lot. I know how to wing it. I don't know. I'm not going to sit there and write during a show. I don't even write before the show when we do. We go out there and fucking do a good job, and that's all you need to do. But yeah, he had lines anytime he needed a line. And like in the Jackie heyday, Jackie would laugh at his own joke that Howard read. Yeah. So you would know that it was his. Yeah. So you would know what happened. But Benji was a very talented writer, and nothing to look at or listen to, but a writer.
He's a funny guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Very impressive. You know what I mean? In the right situation of a show, he's perfect. For that show, maybe not. You keep his mic off mostly.
Well, I mean, it's just crazy.
Alex, I feel like your green screen setting, the way you're dressed, I feel like it's like the holiday season, and you're going to pull out a giant book and read us. And, I mean, it's just.
Now you guys saw the green screen. It's faker than a $3 bill. But I'm telling you, I like.
Well, you know what the funny thing is,
yes.
Alex. The funny thing was when he was the first time I seen him. I knew about him, and I was kind of checking out. I go, he's pretty wild. I don't know if he's in control, out of control. I don't know if I want to deal with him yet. And I'm thinking, then I seen him on the Kevin Brennan show, whatever, Misery Loves Company. And he has this background. Yeah, there's a Kevin Brennan bell.
That's the Kevin Brennan bell. Every time mentioned Kevin Brennan.
I love KB. I mean, KB's the man.
He's the best. He's the best.
Yeah, he's literally he's an anti-humorist. That's why he's so funny. He's like literally, Bud Bundy or whatever, Al Bundy from the best Married with Children. I mean, he's like the reincarnation of it. That's why he's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
What are you saying? So talk about me. Talk about me some more. I'm just kidding.
So you're on the show, and Kevin comes on, and he's looking at, no knowledge of fucking, technology or anything, which I love about the fucking caveman. But he looks at his background and his suit, and then he goes, somebody's doing well.
Yeah, it's a freaking with a cat. It's a green screen. He doesn't know. None of his guests even have a microphone half the time. That's why Kevin's so funny. And then, dude, okay, Bob, in your mind, you probably feel like you got shafted. But could you imagine having a little brother that's not even half as funny of you and be considered like way more, successful? That'd make me sick. Because, dude, I don't think Neil's ever made me laugh in my entire life.
No. Kevin always describes it as that his brother happened to walk past a room where black guys were being funny and just threw himself in there. But
but the only reason he met any of those guys is because he was working at a club that Kevin was playing at. I think he worked the door or whatever. So I mean, it was kind of
Boston Comedy Club. Yeah,
the Boston Comedy Club. So Kevin is the one that was his protector. You know what I mean? In a way, that's it was like, my older brother type situation. That makes it a lot easier. It's like why a lot of younger brothers go to the same college as their older brother or whatever, because they know people. It just makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, but here's another thing with Kevin, with his brother. Okay, his brother goes into this. Now, a normal person that doesn't think about their own talent would go, hey, I got a friend that's brilliant. I got a brother that's brilliant. You should maybe have him work on the show. They would fire his ass in a second because he doesn't have any talent. And that's the problem. And that's probably why he never did anything for Kevin, because they would be like, I'm hiring your brother. Go to the door.
Well, they said that they had meetings. Like Neil says a story, I believe, that they went to some meetings and like he was trying to pitch the show, and Kevin would just sit there like kind of stone faced. You know how like you had to be kind of energetic in a pitch meeting, and Kevin would just sit there like like a bump on a log. So I could maybe see why he just doesn't want to help his brother out. But at the end of the day, let's talk about Dave Chappelle. I know we brought him up earlier. Is Dave Chappelle all that transphobia? Do you think he's doing that just for clout, or do you think what do you think that's about? Because he gets so many hits.
What clout would you be getting from that? Because the media and the mainstream media is like so pro. I mean, these people like my 2-year-old tried on my high heel and I'm going to send him to school in drag. I mean, it's insane. Like, I don't think you get clout from being anti-trans now.
But Rob, a comedian, this is how it works. So, like Bob is a kind of a shock comic, kind of an edgy comic. So it's a way of being edgy without having to say cunt. It's a way of being edgy without saying, and because the trans issue in the black community, they don't really treat gay people well in the black community. So like he knows that's a fact. So, dude, they call Down Low Brothers or some of the, most hated on. That's why like the Black Lives Matter movement is like all about acceptance. Yet black people to other gay black people treat them like crap. That's not a conspiracy. That's a fact. So when he talks that rhetoric, he probably believes it, but he also is doing it strategically because. Listen, in my mind, this day and age, comedy's dead. The best years of comedy was like the years when you were doing it. You obviously still do it, but I'm talking about the best years was like the Gallagher Sinbad years in my opinion. Like when a show, well, not saying Gallagher was the best, but that's when you had a Showtime special and it meant something. It was like those years, dude. If you had a special then, it was the biggest. They would play it on Showtime 100 times, so that's why you would know it. Now in this day and age, they don't do that same thing. They don't play the same comedy special 100 times. Like I'm just saying, Gallagher is not the best comic, but dude, they play played his special every time, and he was decent. So like, you know, he got super famous that way. Like Sinbad, you know, that was, dude, he was, I mean, is he the best comic in the world? No, but they played that special, you know, they wore it out. They don't do that for comics anymore. Like even Netflix don't, I mean, they say that, I mean, Dave Chappelle's the biggest comedian this day and age, but I haven't seen any of his specials in the last 10 years, and I am a huge comedy fan. So what does that mean?
Yeah, no, you're right about that. And it's like, you know, by him bringing up, it's like, I love what he did. He brought up the LT, whatever the fuck. I'm out of letters. I don't know what they even are.
Yeah, there's so many letters in there now. You just can't even keep track.
But it's like too much shit. But
LT,
the whole thing,
Lawrence Taylor.
The whole thing is, he brings it up, people's attention. Then he goes, hey, I have a good friend of mine that's fucking one, you know? And then he puts that out there. And it's now what are you going to do? It's fucking genius. That's what it is. It's like I'm playing your game now. You put up new rules, and I'm going to play my game against you now to bring it back. Like I was saying on a show earlier, I go, you can't go up there and go, yeah, black people do this. Go, a friend of mine said, you know, black people do it. Now it's not you saying it. Now you're getting over it. I said there's a new way to get over on stuff that you would easily able to say. And you can say, you know, a friend of mine was saying this gay friend. So now you're not involved in it anymore. You're like the puppet. You know, you're not the puppet. You're the puppet master.
You're the mouthpiece. Yeah.
You're the mouthpiece.
A good friend of mine told me that black people don't tip. I don't know.
Yeah, asking for a friend. Yeah, well, that's a conspiracy, right? If you worked in a restaurant.
And I love it because of the fact that it's like they put up these new rules, and it's like I got a way to get past them. And you can't get mad because it's somebody I knew, but I don't appreciate what he says.
My word.
But you also look at Dave, and this isn't the Bash Dave hour, but then he went and spoke at one of his city council meetings against having low income housing in his Ohio neighborhood or whatever, in his expensive subdivision. So, I mean, go figure. That shows you what kind of character guy is. I mean, come on. Does he care if a few, you know, he needs a housekeeper. He needs some people. I mean, why would he care if they had a few apartments in the city? But he actually went to the city council and spoke against it. Exactly. So that means he's like really against it. He wasn't just a little against it. He was like, no, fuck this. Y'all aren't moving in my neighborhood. It's rich people only. No, you know, so.
No, you know what?
To be fair, Alex, he went as Clayton Bigsby.
Yeah, he wishes. Hey, but dude, and that's the one thing. It's like the show he did was brilliant. The Chappelle show was brilliant, and that's why they ripped you off, Bob, because you're a brilliant comic yourself. But I'm saying the black white supremacist now is real. They got Larry Elder in California. They actually call him that. I would have never thought the real world would become a Dave Chappelle sketch. And then you look at the show, like they use Rick James. He was like a real person. So a lot of that comedy actually kind of came. You know, it's true. That's the best comedy is the true stuff. So that's why I've been successful. Is I'm not necessarily a stand-up comedian, but I can stand up and tell jokes. But what I'm saying is it's about putting a mirror to the real reality that we're living and how absurd it is. And so that's kind of what he was doing. He had the insight to see how crazy that the world was. Like a lot of us are kind of, we just have our blinders on. We're worried about our bills. We're worried about, our girlfriend or whatever, our wife. So we don't pay attention to that. We're not like cognizant of like the, I guess whatever the social agenda is. But he was awoke, at an early age or early. So that's why he had a lot of these jokes that are still last the test of time. But man, I'm telling you though, Bob, when it comes to comedy, what was the hottest era of the Stern Show for you? Like when y'all would sell out, like what was it like? Going on the road. What was that? Because was it the Miserable Men tour y'all went on? And
no, that was the Killers of Comedy.
Killers, that's it. The Killers of Comedy tour. Yeah, what was that like?
Yeah, I did that, and then I did it with Artie too. But the whole thing was in like 2004. It was hopping, and we had, it was like I did anything. Everyone did anything that they wanted. I ate fucking Savannah Sampson's ass on stage at Caroline's, and they thanked me.
The porn star, right? That's the porn star. Savannah said, yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Because they thanked me because of the power, not because it was fucking something that they should have been thanking me for. It was because of the power of the show. We remember being backstage in Chicago, the Basham. We didn't want to walk to the Basham because the fans go crazy. It's like it was crazy. And they start yelling, somebody's on stage, you can't have that. And I remember Stuttering John pissing in the in the owner's garbage can in his office. And no, they did not say anything. And they never said anything. And that's what power does. And that's what you're talking about, is when people get power. Dave Chappelle went from, if you look at it, you're like, okay, I became something. I did what life is supposed to be, not for any color, just the way life is. I'm going to better myself than my parents did or whatever. But there's
the American
always,
dream.
Yeah, but the American dream always has people that have to fucking cut your lawn, that have to fucking bring you food. You know what I mean? And to say I don't want them there, it's almost like saying, "Oh yeah, slavery is great." But we didn't have to pay anything. But now look at the shit we caused. You know what I mean? Is it worth the free labor? Is it worth anything to have to say, I made a mistake? Maybe it's not worth it. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? It's like, you can't do something and then go all of a sudden, no, that was a bad idea, because people will use it as an excuse. People are weak nowadays. They don't want to. Oh God, feeling is something that I have many excuses for because of what happened to my people. No, every people have been tortured. Every people that's out there, and
it's the victimhood. Everybody wants to be a victim, Bob. You know that. Everybody wants to be a victim right now. Hey, but you mentioned Stuttering John. Okay, let's talk about. I don't know. You might still be tight with him, but he kind of is a fake comedian in my mind too. Like I feel like he's done a lot of stand up, but like he wasn't a great what you would call it when he worked.
The only funny thing he said were stuff that Fred and Jackie wrote for him. I mean, he's not a funny person.
Because I'm saying, I mean, Bob might be friends with him, so I don't want to sit here and bash Stuttering John, but it's like,
no, dude, I mean, it doesn't matter either way. I mean, we talk about it. That's what we do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's like, dude, he had like, every access to a Jay Leno letting him be the announcer, and the guy couldn't, Nicolas Cage, and what would he say? And he couldn't even pronounce, Pamela Anderson, he can't even say these words, and somehow he gets to be the announcer.
Bob can't talk well either.
No, I don't think that. I'm just saying it's just crazy. Like, I don't blame him for leaving at the end of the day, but man, he had like such an opportunity, such an easy gig at the Tonight Show, and I feel like he just kind of screwed that up. It's like, man, I don't know. It's just a weird thing. This, I guess, my point is what I'm trying to say is I always thought Jay Leno was the bad guy, and now after watching Jay Leno's like car show, I like Jay Leno a lot more. So looking back, I think Jay Leno was the good guy the whole time, and Howard was the villain. So I guess, what's your opinion? Do you think Jay's a good or bad guy?
I got to meet Jay in Atlantic City. We were doing one room, and he was doing the big room at the Bagada, and selling T-shirts like a slub, And
he was selling shirts. He was selling shirts?
Me.
I was probably carrying them.
Yeah. Somebody carried them out for me. But the whole thing is that I'm selling shirts, and the management comes and goes, "There's a fan that wants to meet you," and I'm like, when I'm done with my T-shirts, and they're like, "No, you got to meet him now." And I'm like, "No, I'm taking care of the T-shirt. I got to make the T-shirt money.
I got to make $200 on these shirts." Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And they go, "You got to come now,
Alex."
Yeah, you got to come now. So I come now, and I walk backstage. Jay Leno's there with his blue, Canadian tuxedo shirt and he's like, "Hey man, hey Bob, big, nice to meet you, big fan, and just the nicest guy in the world." Took us out to eat afterwards, and we're sitting there. And
did you ever go eat with Howard one time? Did you ever eat with Howard? I doubt it.
We were at a strip club, and he showed up, but we were eating. We were eating. And he came by with us.
So Jay Leno's better. Okay, tell me about your story. But I'm saying you didn't even work for Jay. I mean, you know what I'm saying. You never actually worked for a show, and he took you out to dinner. Okay, I want to hear about the dinner though.
So we're having a great dinner. It's me, Artie, and somebody else. So probably somebody that came with me, and we're just having a great time. And I'm looking at it, and I go, I gotta go, and he's like, "What? Where are you going?" And I go, I gotta take my dogs out. And he goes, "I've heard a lot of excuses not to hang out with me, but this is probably the best." And I'm like, I'm just one of them animal people. I'm just like, you know what I mean? I can't do that.
I'm an animal person too. Sorry.
Yeah, but I was like, I had, and he was just so nice. And I was like, this is the guy that Howard was talking about that came out of his way to see me. You know what I mean? And it was really, you know, but the whole thing is that he's probably thinking, oh my God, this poor guy is making no money. He's fucking getting shit on all the time. I can use him and give him a nice living. That's what probably Jay's thinking as somebody, and this could work out. And you know, it's business. It's business. People leave Kumio all the fucking time. You don't see him fucking crying. He knows he's good.
Yeah, dude, Anthony's way better than Howard. Yeah, I mean, he's way better broadcaster than Howard, in my opinion.
He's like, I don't need anybody. Why would I be mad? You know what I mean? Hey, do what you want to do. I'm not going to be, oh, don't do this. And that's what I respect about the guy. You know what I mean? But to cry about it.
No, and even though Jay owns like 10,000 cars, he actually seems down to earth. You know what I mean? He doesn't seem like he actually works hard. He still grinds all the time. It's not easy getting in those airplanes. You know how hard it is doing that over and over. It's tiring. No, seriously, you want to take a nap. I mean, dude, it doesn't matter. Even if you fly private or whatever, it's just whatever, going in the air, landing. It's taxing. And he grinds every day and supposedly saved all of his money. So he's a little different than Howard, who's like has $500 million and can't pay his people 5 cents. I mean, they're all living like they're all basically, you know, indigent. They didn't have any money, you know. Yeah, it makes no sense.
But the whole thing there was going into the show, I knew my opportunity was to showcase myself and make my own money. That's what I knew from the beginning. And when they said, do you want money, which is no money, you know, it's shit money, I made a deal. How about I get 2 plugs? And they agreed to that. And I'm like, now I can make great. Now, it's a business move. And that's all it is. And it's about, you know, you're on that show. If you're not a regular, you're not in the pay thing unless you have your own show, then they pay you. But the whole thing is that when they came with the roast, I made the deal like that because it's a good deal for me. And then I can take this group with me. I can take Artie and still get the plugs, and he doesn't have to jam them in on the radio because they're playing at the end. You know, so it's you have to realize what you're there for, and you're there to promote yourself and make your own living. And if you can't do that, then you're wasting your time.
Yeah, it's all about the hustle, and Bob mastered that on the Howard Stern show.
No, Bob, I mean, you really are a hustler, you know. It's like, but at the end of the day, Bob, you know, it's like you had, you know, success, you're well known and this and that. Doing comedy, though, isn't it kind of like a sad sport? You know what I mean? It's like, you know how this is my description. It's like, you know how there's 32 football teams and only one wins the Super Bowl. So it's like, really, even though you're in the NFL, you're still kind of a loser. Does it feel like that sometimes, Bob? Like, you know, you're right there. You're next to the guy that's in the Super Bowl. You're next to Dave Chappelle. You're next to Jay Leno. But it's hard to actually win it because, you know, it's kind of a rigged game. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, it's a rigged game, but, you know, the thing is that when me and Kevin Brennan hit the bell, go out, we're giving them the best show that they ever seen. So, you know, I say it, I dance it, I fucking write it, and I do it every time. There's nobody better than me live. And that's
what I'm saying, Bob. I think you're one of the funniest too, but it's kind of tough being the Buffalo Bills, you know, being there at the Super Bowl and losing it every time. You know, it's kind of hard.
It's okay. It's okay. When you love what you do, it's okay. That's the only fucking thing. That's why I love him, because he goes with the questions. He goes with the, you know what I mean? That's what I love about you. You see it and you ask the fucking questions instead of being a shy bitch. And that's what separates men from fucking bitches.
You're an outgoing bitch.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just funny, though, because I can't tell you how many hours, like, I'm not starstruck because I want to act professional, but, dude, I'm telling you, I've listened to thousands of hours, and, like, I go back and listen to those old good days of the Stern Show because it was good. Those roasts were funny, and now the show is unlistenable. And I actually called in when I, like, got into conspiracies. I don't know how deep you guys are, but, like, the Pizzagate conspiracy after Hillary's emails. And I went and asked him about it, and he totally ran cover. I have it recorded. I have it uploaded, you know, on my channel. And Howard's like, "Oh, that's all fake, and you know, that's not real." And you know, yet we know Jeffrey Epstein flew with Bill Clinton 26 times, and they went to his island with no Secret Service detail. And Jeffrey Epstein's a convicted pedophile, and same with Ghislaine Maxwell, who was invited to Hillary Clinton's wedding. So you know, it's just a lot of weird stuff with that, and he disregards it, and like he has Hillary on now, he's like kissing her butt. So I honestly believe this is how deep I am with conspiracies. I believe that he might not have prior knowledge, but Howard stayed in that studio on 9/11 knowing that he was going to be totally fine. Like, he knew it was going to get clout. Like, I don't think he knew of the attack, but I'm saying, like, he knew something wasn't that big a deal. Like, I'm supposed to broadcast. I know that's kind of tinfoil hat conspiracy, but that was like one of his big... That was like one of his big things, but that was kind of weird that he stayed in the studio and when New York was on fire that morning. It's
okay. Here's another thing.
And now he won't go into the studio just because there's a virus.
COVID. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. Hey, calm down. The poor guy can't even go out to play chess with people. Okay, it's been fucking 2 years. Calm down. But the whole thing is that okay, if you are who you say you are and you don't stay on the air, it's over. It's over right there. I mean, look, is the man a coward in life as a real person? Absolutely. Has to be. Yeah. You know what I mean? And to be able to put out a fake thing that you're a badass in this and have people believe it, that's good. But you really have to back it up. And for him to walk out that day, it would have been so embarrassing because I know he had shit in his pants. You know what I mean? A man like that doesn't get scared. You know? Well, and that's it.
Well, let me tell you this, because I'm such a diehard fan. I love getting the inside baseball. So, like, when Artie did the suicide attempt, you know, they say, even though Howard never admitted, that he had been fired or been basically let go. Is that true, or do you even know that, like, they basically were done with him, and that's kind of why Artie did that? Is that not true, or what do you think about that?
Are you already gone by then, Bob, or what?
No, I can go by the only timeline that I know, and I don't know if you can put them together. But when they put him on the bed in there, like, you know, he was all fucked up, and he fell off on the floor. That's about the end of it when I quit. I don't know when the stabbing thing, and then I believe that was the final. You get help, you're gone. You know what I mean? You get help or you're gone, and that was the time right there. And that's why, like, I was like, this is fucked up for them putting him on a bed when they know he's on heroin. And that, I quit on my show. I mean, there's probably a video out of somewhere, but that's exactly when I quit. I did it on my thing, and then I let them know.
Yeah, I mean, dude, he drove Artie to kill himself because he just enabled it. It's like you watch that show Intervention. There's always like an enabler, and they loved it. That was some of the best content with him sleeping on the thing. So it just shows you that Howard will use a person until they actually die. But that's another thing with Artie, man. I've had friends now with this fentanyl, Bob. Like, I've used to do drugs and party and done it all. But this day and age, this Chinese fentanyl, dude, it's no joke. One of my best friends, I worked for the TV show Cheaters for like 10 years, and it's a show where we catch people cheating on their husbands and wives.
I watch it. I know it.
Yeah.
Have you seen me on there?
No, not yet. But I'm saying I can only say so much with a wink and a stare and wink because I signed an NDA. But what I'm saying is the host of that show is a guy named Clark Gable, who's Clark Gable's grandson. And dude, he was a party animal, Bob. I'm telling you, like, he would rip lines of coke like this long, and, you know, he would
ended up dying. Yeah.
Dude, but this is how he died, dude. He didn't die in a blaze of glory like you expected, a guy with a high drug tolerance. He took fentanyl that was pressed in Vicodin pills, that was pressed in a different pill, and woke up dead in bed with his wife or his fiance and 19-month-old baby. So he wasn't even partying and died. And that's when I changed my life. I actually stopped drinking because of that. I was like, man, you know, blah, blah, blah. My best friend died. He was like one of my best friends, you know? And this fentanyl, though, dude, I can't believe Artie's outliving Bob Saget. Artie's outliving all these guys.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, it's just, it doesn't even make dude, it doesn't make sense. And, you know, Norm Macdonald was like his mentor, and he outlived Norm. I would have never thought that. Yeah. So I just can't believe Artie's like hasn't been a victim of that Chinese fentanyl, to be honest.
Well, that's what it is.
He seems to be on the straight and narrow, right?
Artie hasn't.
Yeah, well, he stopped at the right time, I think, where it was starting to get out there. All I know is I remember being all fucked up in the car accident, and I stopped where I said I'm not doing any more gigs with him. It was just ridiculous to deal with.
Why he had an accident in his Mercedes, or what was it?
No, I did. I was all fucked up from a car accident, so I was like, I'm not. I can't even do gigs with him anymore. It's so out of control. Every show is just fucking ridiculous. I need money up front from the owner. And it's like, I'm not coming in. I just couldn't take it. And I started canceling. I said, I'm not doing this anymore. This is not what I was told and why. I thought it was going to get back to normal, but no. You know what I mean? When somebody's addicted, you hear stories and you don't think that you're going to go, oh my God, there's no way he's lying. You know what I mean? And yeah, when you're on drugs, you're lying. And that's what you do.
Yeah.
You thought you could trust Artie because he seems such a genuine guy, you know, but I guess that's what a drug addict is. They're the most manipulative people. You know, a drug addict they're the best liars. That's why, like, if a person get off drugs usually becomes successful because they can kind of use those old tools to, you know, in business. Like if they can get sober, they can use their, you know, their street smarts and to be successful but I guess my point is, it's like, I'm not even anti-drugs. We need to do a decriminalization of drugs because the war on drugs right now is actually killing people. Like right now, you can't even get fentanyl test strips because they consider that drug paraphernalia. So there's just all kinds of weird rules that don't, and like if we had red light districts like Amsterdam, I know there would, you know, probably more people would experiment with drugs, but less people's lives would get thrown away because we have a criminal system where if you get caught with one little hit of whatever crack, you have a felony conviction on your record. You can't even get a job at McDonald's. You can't even do anything because you got caught.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's just sad. It's just sad this day and age, this war on drugs, when it's people like Artie, that's a good guy, a talented guy, gets caught up. Like, you know, Artie doesn't want to be a drug addict. You know, Artie doesn't want to do that. You know, his mom and his sister. But he's got some sort of, I don't even want to call it a disease, but it's like he's got some, we all have insecurities. Everybody here. But you can use, I'm saying, but you can use the drugs to fill that insecurity. And that's the thing in life. Sometimes you just have to realize, man, I'm insecure, I'm fat, I'm whatever, and just own it. You know, be unapologetically yourself instead of trying to, you know, medicate it with drugs. And I'm not a drug expert, but it's just, man, I see a guy like Artie just ruin his life. And it's just sad, Bob. It's like this really tragic comedy story that's just, it's a guy can freestyle rap. He could, like, I looked up to Artie, you know, him when he would do like the Biggie Smalls raps and stuff. I'm like, man, this guy is the funniest guy. And he just ruined it all being high and drunk. Like the whiskey talking, none of those specials were that good because he was so wasted. You know what I mean? Like they were funny, but they were not as funny as they could have been. They were 60% of what they could have been, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think he'll admit now or soon that, you know, some of these shows we did is embarrassing. It was embarrassing what he put up there, you know?
Dude.
And it's sad to say, you know, because you're looking at a brilliant person and they're basically, and people would come to see the disaster, and I couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't take that anymore. You know what I mean? Everybody
bombing though? Bob, when you say disaster, what was disaster? Not bombing, just being like a drunk mess?
It was just a mess. But, you know, you're not at your best when you're that fucked up. But, you know, when people come to see the disaster instead of that, it's just horrible. It just people stand up for you when I'm making a comeback, yay, and everyone's like, yay, I love you, you're my best friend. Then you have a little problem, a little fallback. What a loser! I told you he'd fail. You know what I mean? You guys keep coming back to him and that shit. And that's just how people are, okay?
People love the comeback story. People love the comeback kid.
But they love the disaster to tell you that he fell again. They go on both sides, but they'll cheer on both sides, and that's the whole thing. It's like, you know, you can't. A choice is not an addiction. It's just not. I'm sorry. Whether it's fat, whether it's drugs, alcohol, it's not. You know what I mean? It's a choice you're making. It's not an addiction. And basically, you know, people like, okay, then that means I can go, oh, it's been 5 days. I can post, and I haven't raped somebody. Nobody's going to go, good for you. You can do this. Or, you know what I mean? I haven't beat my wife in 3 days.
It's called self-control.
You're a hero. You're a hero. Yeah, but you're not a hero. You're not, you know what I mean? You're just not doing something that you're not good at. You know what I mean? I'm not against drugs or alcohol. I realized I wasn't good at it, and I figured a way how to be good at it and be able to have a life. Well, you know what I mean? It's fucking legal. You know what I mean? Alcohol is legal. You know, food is legal. You know, I know, you know, maybe you're sitting there and you're eating and go, I'm full. and you stop.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's things like that. It's like you don't get rewarded for not being a fucking animal. You know, you're being an animal, and you're going to be rewarded because you're not doing it anymore. Give me a fucking break. It doesn't make any sense. There's
They
real
lowered
things,
the bar.
you know? They lowered the bar so low that a fat person can jump over it. It's embarrassing. You know what I mean? You can't live. You can't be somebody in life when you can't have control over things. You know what I mean? Of course, it'll take you down because you're not paying 100% to what you're supposed to be. You're spending most of your time. I got to get drugs. I'm gonna drink. And, you know, and it changes everything. And that's just how it is. And people can't be told that they're weak. And sorry, I mean, I was weak. I'm not now.
Yeah.
But fucking, it's okay. But I'm not
We
gonna
need
say
some tough
fucking.
love.
We need tough love. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Fucking, you need fucking Will Smith smacking every. Yeah, you know. But he's a
Okay.
pussy.
He's a pussy. He
Alex,
lets
what do you
guys
say?
bang his wife. Okay, so go ahead, Rob.
No, go now. Yeah.
I just want to say this. So if like I said, I consider myself a Howard Stern historian, and like the day when Richard and Sal started calling out Artie because everybody kissed Artie's ass, and they were kind of one of the few people to be like, your stand-up special, you've been doing the same stand-up special year after year. Beer League sucked. I thought Beer League was okay, honestly. But what I'm saying is like that. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a bad movie. There's worse movies than Beer League. But like that was like that was like the start of the trajectory of when they were like, started to talk bad about Artie, and that rattled his cage. Artie had never had any kickback, and he's like, "Oh, F you, you are the hack pack, you're this." Like he was so defensive of the guy.
Let me explain this to you. I got it
Please.
totally. I got it totally. The fact is that you know what I mean? When you were on Artie had more power on the radio than us, right? Whatever he said, people loved him. They believed. It actually hurt me doing stand-up. People would come to Artie's show and go, I would have never came to see you from what I hear on the show, but you were amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because of that. And I let them know that. I go, this isn't helping. This ain't helping sell them tickets. This is the worst thing that could happen. And then they stood up for themselves, and they called them out, which you're supposed to do. That's what makes good fucking radio. And that's why certain people know what the fuck is going on. You understand? And you can't go after the show by ripping somebody apart, which I've been part of, going, I know you're the funniest guy around. It doesn't do anything then. It's off the air. You know what I mean? What you're saying on the air is what people believe. And that's what entertainment is. And that's why the best know how to do it. And you can't get away with bullshit. If you're bullshitting the bullshitter, it ain't gonna work.
I know. And did they stop letting you do the roast? Because when you did the roast, you killed. But I'm saying, like, did that, did that kind of stop you? I guess, or because you weren't able to go on air and be funny on your own, and then he said that bull crap, or what? Like, what was the, what do you think?
No, it's like when somebody, like, you can say anything you want, and if people believe it, they believe it. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. But the whole thing is that. When somebody comes to you afterwards and go, if I wasn't on this show, I'd be hosting. You know what I mean? Like shit like that. And then you're like, well, you know what I mean? You're not going to keep swinging without me swinging back. It's just not going to happen. And, and I always said that. I go, you have to stand up for yourself. I don't care who gets mad. People get mad all the time. I don't care if you get mad. I don't give a shit because that's more like family than anything. You're supposed to get mad. You hold it in. You're a cunt, and you'll never get things changed.
You're the only guy that called out Howard that I even really know. You know what I mean? One of your last times. I mean, you called him out. Like, you were not afraid to. You kind of knew you were going to do it too. So, like, that day, that morning, I guess they were trying to get a hold of you. Did you know that you were going to go, off on Howard, or what was the deal? Because didn't you go off on him on the Miserable Men show, and then they wanted you to ask you about it? Was that the deal?
Yeah, it was more Gary, and then Howard. He said, "You can't." I said, "Yeah, I'm not."
You went off on Gary. Yeah.
Yeah, and I go, he goes, apologize. I'm sorry if it offended you. I would never say, I don't say I'm sorry. I've never said I'm sorry. Because if I did something, I did it for a reason. And I'm not going to, I don't need. I think I have enough friends. I don't think I need to make more by being phony to them. But if you want to handle real life and somebody being honest with you, I could be a good friend. But I'm not going to be fake in that shit. So and that's what I want to bring that back to radio where it's honest. It's fucking real. You know what I mean? No matter what you're talking about, and nobody's doing it. Well, I don't want to say the names. Kevin Brennan is doing it. Get the bell.
Yeah.
Anthony Cumia is doing it, but
Cumia.
Not nobody. Everybody's afraid of it. You don't have to go. You don't have to go this way or that way. You know what I mean? With the whole thing, and you either believe what I say, whether you're a Republican or Democrat, it doesn't matter. The main thing is putting out a product that is real. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That is real feelings, and it's not about being whatever side you're on. Anybody can enjoy great conversation and anger because everybody has it. Everybody's angry. Everybody wakes up and their day is going great. I love that cat. Everybody's day wakes up and they're doing great until somebody else affects that mood.
Yeah.
It's either the phone, it's a text, it's somebody in the house. Your day gets changed by somebody else's reaction, and it's how you handle it from there.
Well, and I think like being genuine is so good. And comedy now at this day and age, it's like all woke bullcrap. I mean, it's literally dead. You look at the top movies from the 90s, it's like Pulp Fiction, Shawshank Redemption, like American Pie. Like I think that's the best movies of 94, just one year. You do the best movies of 2021, it's like Boss Baby 3. I mean, it's trash. So like that's just that's just a good, indication of like where comedy has gone, where you have people like Hannah Gadsby that's like not even funny, that like gets, specials. So in your opinion, why did comedy die? Is it because of political correctness, or like what has been the biggest hampering, and why is comedy like so politically correct in this day and age, in your opinion, Bob?
Well, it's basically because people that are cowards, and they, most of these people are people that aren't even making money, and they're changing their act. You know what I mean? They're getting like $50, $100, $200 a show, and they're changing their act. It doesn't make any sense to me. People are waiting for what they're waiting for it, and that's why I keep yelling. I yell at certain people all the time. They're waiting for this. When are we going to give it to them? When are we going to give it to? We don't have to take a side, a left or a right. We just have to go back to what is funny. And I've never came off it, and certain people don't. And that's what I'm saying. The time is here again because everybody else is melting like little bitches because they're
there's
afraid.
A void. There's a void.
Yeah. There's a big void. You don't think that there's people not saying anything at home, because most people don't say anything. They just go on with their lives and not be bothered. They're sitting at home waiting for it to come so they can go, I want to buy that ticket and go see them, because I don't need to scream that this is right, this is wrong, this is what I believe. I just living my life. And that's all I want to do. And that's what everyone is missing. A fucking show that is basically about fucking bullshit that happens in your life, that happens to everyone else. I don't give a shit. Like I tell these guys, we're no different than anybody else. We have the same problems we wake up with every day. And that's what we need to talk about, because it happens to everybody. And anybody who's bigger, it happens to them too. And to be this fake person, it doesn't sell. And people know that shit. You want people to tune in the whole time. You don't want them to go, that bit was great. Then no, man, it's all about fucking putting on the fucking honest show that fucking kicks ass. And there's not many people that do it anymore.
Yeah. Hey, you mentioned earlier, the one thing I know I'm asking a lot of questions because when you went off on Gary, is Gary a good guy? Because he treated Eric the actor like crap too, and like, he would always, if he got an email for some gig, he's like, I'm not even going to email it to you or whatever. So is Gary a good guy? Or because I know his neighbors in Greenwich and they don't like him. A lot of his neighbors don't like Gary.
Really? Wow, that's weird to know. Rob
That's
has
what
that
I've
same
heard.
problem with his neighbors, but they're not white.
Yeah,
They hate him. He has problems
have-
with black people in his neighborhood, and he's
We,
the only white
we
guy.
have
I
any
said, you
clips
either
of
get
that,
along or move.
have any clips of that voicemail, Sean?
Yeah, listen to this voicemail before we go on. And I want to talk about what you're talking about. But this is his neighbor yelling at him because Rob goes to work and it's snowing.
Where are you in Harlem? Where are you, Rob?
Atlantic City
I'm
area.
outside of Atlantic City.
I love AC. That's great, dude.
Yeah.
Atlantic City's great. I mean, that's like that is really the best. I mean, that is actually a really cool area, in my opinion. If you're not a degenerate gambler, you know, there's a time when I would go gamble and go visit AC, and you know, sometimes I'd win, sometimes I'd lose. I've only been there twice, but I've had a good time and a bad time in Atlantic City. It was awesome.
All right, where do you live? Where do you live now?
I'm in Dallas, Texas. I'm in Dallas now.
That's a little different than Atlantic City, yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
totally
but
different.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you a ticket to come down. Me and Kevin Brennan are doing a show on a Thursday. Then Compound Media's there the weekend. So I want you to meet everyone because, like, you should
I'm going to be in New
shows.
York. Bob, I'm going next week. I'm going to be on In Hot Water on the 6th. And so I'm flying in New York to be it. So I'm going to be there the 5th and the 7th. But I'll fly again. But I'm saying I hope I get to meet Kumia. Kevin said he's going to hook me up and let me meet. I mean, Anthony is the best. Like, and I'm not just kissing his ass. Like, he's actually a talented guy. You know, is actually funny. And it's funny because I was under that brainwashing too. Like when the Howard was so popular, I was like, oh, Opie and Anthony are hacks. Yeah. You know, I was like, oh, they're not as good.
Same way. That's how I got with Bob.
Dude, there's nothing funnier than him and Patrice. And that's another thing is, dude, all these Patrice benefits that they do not even include Anthony. Yet, if you listen, Patrice O'Neal didn't respect anybody. Patrice O'Neal talked shit to every person he talked to, but he would respect Anthony. Him and Anthony had some of the most respectful debates ever. So that's how you know Patrice, a guy who shit on everybody, respected Anthony, and he didn't respect those, you know, what is it, that Yamamika or whatever, who's like played at his benefit. He was on it. He's a podcast where he's bashing her, and then like, you know, it's just funny how that legacy.
You're totally right about that, and the people they put on there, it's just a joke, you know. But I met him once, and you know, he was nice to me, or I met him a few times. He was nice to me. I did a roast. I fuck with him. It was a great time, you know. He fucked with me, you know. But the whole thing is that the benefit every fucking year, there's people alive we should be taking care of. I mean, that's the way I look at things.
That's true.
I'm like,
yeah.
What is this proof? Why don't you help somebody that's a, you know? I remember like Rick Shapiro, a brilliant fucking actor, comedian. He's all fucked up from MS. And I'm like, you're letting, I even wrote on Twitter, you're letting this guy die in front of you. You know what I mean?
Is he in New York? Because I remember Rick was in LA. How is Rick doing? I mean, I remember, is he in New York now?
But you know, it's affecting him. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's like, you know, I know how it is to be out of the game and be crippled for a short time. And, you know, the phone calls don't come in anymore because you can't do anything for people. And they're not going to do anything for you because, you know what I mean, until they realize. And it's like, you know, but it's like you have people that are fucking, you know, that are really struggling and they're alive. It's like, you know, throw them a fucking bone. It's one night. That's what I always said. I always did benefits for people because I always said
you did benefit after benefit. I mean, dude, Bob, you guys did a benefit for everybody. For what's the clown? Yucko the clown for his parents' house burned down, dude. You did benefit after benefit. You were the benefitter. I mean, you did it for everybody, man.
But it's what you do. It's like people, when you have a tough time, you have to have somebody at least to kind of hold you up from falling. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? And but it's like it's such a weird fucking thing that, you know, what do you do it to something? Put the money to something that saves some, you know, animals or something, anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, anything that you can. Then you have their name up there forever. But you know what I mean? You got to be able to. What do you benefit? You know what I mean? It's like it's
his
like,
ex-girlfriend gets 20 grand every year or something for. I mean, doesn't
20 grand is a low number. 20 grand, I can do at the Stress Factory. Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know.
You know
I mean, so what? Right. So I know, I mean, you know better than me, but it's like, yeah, why does she keep getting that? I mean, dude, in this day and age, though, it's like when you're dead and gone, you know, I guess it's kind of cool that they remember him, but you're right. We need to help out people. Like, I'm an animal lover. You know, I'm like Tony Soprano, how, like, you know, he'll kill a person, but he loves an animal. You know, I can drive by a homeless person and, like, usually I'll give $1 or something, but I can go by them, not even think about it. But if there's like a stray dog or cat, I'm pulling over in the side of the road. Like, I almost care about animals more than humans.
Me too.
You know?
Yeah, I went out to Thailand to help rescue elephants.
That's not why you went. You went out there. He didn't go out there for that. Nobody goes to Thailand to fucking take care of elephants. You go there to fuck little boy toys.
He was like, "Is this the Epstein tour?"
John, do we have the clip of my neighbor to play for Alex?
This is Rob making friends in Atlantic City, but yeah, we got to come out. I think it's the.
Call me another one, motherfucker. Call me another one. Go ahead, I dare you. You fucking bitch.
Yeah, that's my neighbor leaving me a voicemail.
What did you do? Take her Amazon package? What did you do, dude?
Yeah. I was snowed in at work, and I asked her to take my dogs out. When she said that she didn't want to slip on the ice, I got upset and you don't, Sean, you don't have the one where she calls me a faggot and all that.
Yeah. Do it from.
You call me another motherfucking bitch again, and me and my son gonna come over here and rip your fucking throat off, bitch. Don't fuck with me, Bob, you faggot motherfucker. I ain't getting nothing to your ass, bitch.
Wow, that's good. Yeah. That's real. I bet Anthony Cumia would be best friends with that girl, right? He would love that neighbor. It is best friend.
But it's great because she's being honest. You know what I mean? Because Rob said, Rob said you're not gonna take it. He goes, lose my number, bitch, or something like that. And she went fucking nuts on him 3 times. Yeah. And then he goes, fuck off or something. And she keeps going at it. But she would have beat the fuck out of him.
Yeah, but she actually helped me. I just got out of the hospital for a bad back. I couldn't get out of bed the other day. I've been out of work. I have a sciatic nerve in my back, and she ended up calling 911.
You have the sciatica? Wow, the sciatica. You sound like a geriatric. You can't say that.
Yeah. Well, you were in the You went to the hospital. Do you got a picture of him in the hospital?
Put up that picture of that.
Put it up. Let's see this.
Wow, I saw that, Rob. You did take a couple of days off in the hospital, didn't you? Wow.
Yeah, I did.
What does it say?
Look at that. Provider.
What is that?
They knew. They knew when they checked him in.
Yeah, they knew immediately. They had to put that.
Queer.
I just saw the queer part. All right, I got you. All right. Yeah, very nice.
But you went you went to the hospital because your back hurt a little bit.
No, I couldn't get out of bed. I was screaming in pain. I couldn't get out of bed.
Wait, so why couldn't you get out of bed? Your legs were numb? Were your legs numb or what was it? Because I have heard that sciatica is bad.
It's the bottom of my back shooting down the pains, and I was holding on. I was kneeling down. I couldn't move, and I was screaming in pain, and my neighbor called 911 and had me my safe word? The N-word.
Wow.
I don't know.
Yeah.
No, but that's weird. Like, I blew out both my sciaticas. Yeah, it sucks and that shit, but I wouldn't go to the hospital.
But you don't have both your sciaticas. Get out. Bob, you are so full of shit. Both my sciaticas. I've never heard that phrase in my fucking life. I blew out both my sciaticas.
They go down your ass cheek to your legs and your ankles and feet. I blew out both of them. I blew out one from the car accident, and one went shortly after it. But I didn't go to the hospital. More than that. Yeah, I didn't go to the hospital and say put queer on my wrist.
Well,
yeah, he didn't.
Photoshop doesn't count. I didn't say that.
No, but that's all right. So but you don't get along with people, Rob. You're not. Rob's not a person. Rob is a very honest person, and he got in trouble with more black people because of the fact that he went to clock out. Tell him a story about you clocking out. I love that. We're talking to Alex Stein, 99. Yes, follow him everywhere.
I was getting done work, and there was a big group of people. I'm not going to say of what ethnicity. They were hanging out, but they worked for security for the casino I worked at, and they were all hanging out and cackling and laughing loudly by the time clock. And I squeezed by them to go clock out, and then as I was walking away, I heard, "Hey, yo, my man." I said, "Yeah, what's up? You ain't going to say excuse me?" And I was like, no. And he goes, well, what'd you say to me? I said, yeah. I said, leave me alone. And he goes, what'd you say? I said,
this is at the casino. This is another casino employee, Rob.
Yeah. I said, yes. Yes. They were security. It was security at the casino. And I said, and they said, what'd you say to me? And I looked at him and I said, fuck off. And they fucking chased me out of the fucking building where I work. Yeah.
A coworker technically chased you out.
Yeah.
Wow. Did you work in the casino? So you saw people lose their ass every night? I mean, it's kind of tough. It's kind of tough.
I mean, I still do. I mean, I still work at the casino. I bartend and I work at a 24-hour bar, and I relieve the overnight guy that gets off at 7 in the morning. And I come on at 7 in the morning. Oh, good one.
So you're at the 20. What are you like in the players' lounge or something? What 24-hour bar is it like that? Are you in some lounge or something?
Like every casino. Usually, most of the casinos in Atlantic City and the casino have one bar that's 24 hours a day. So people.
And Rob had a woman hit on him. Telling that story, the woman hit.
I want to hear about the woman, but Rob. So you've seen people lose their whole mortgage, their everything. You just sit there, just sick as a dog.
I see it all.
That's where Rob comes in. That's
dude, I remember. Man, I mean, dude, I've lost $3,000 in a night, and I wanted to almost jump off a building. You know, and that's nothing compared.
People really do jump off buildings, but they lose their whole mortgage and their No, I had this big manly beast hitting on me all night in the morning, and I said,
"And you fucked her?"
No, I didn't.
But, you are queer then. You're queer.
No. It was a big old beast, and I was like, and they go, here's my number. I said, okay, and then the number said, text me right now, and I did, and they're like, Rob, you still didn't text me, and I'm like, no, I'm good, or whatever. And then this thing finally went to the bathroom. I thought it was just a big ugly woman, and then their friend said, I'm sorry about that. He gets really aggressive. And it started saying him, like, oh my God, that was a man. Honestly, not like it was sex.
Wow.
Not like it was.
So you got trans. You got tricked by a tranny.
It wasn't like a sexy man that fooled me. I just thought it was a big ugly woman. So I really didn't think it was a man, but I just thought it was a big ugly woman. But hey, you can call me fooled. I still didn't give this fucking thing my number, whatever it was.
That's why you never do go to the glory hole. The person on the other side is always a guy. You never just stick your dick in the glory hole. It's always a dude.
All right. You know what? Give me your number, Alex. I'm going to text you for glory hole tips.
No, don't do it.
I'll tell you all about
exactly
the best
glory.
That's why I go to AC. AC has some of the best glory holes, dude. You can just walk in. They got them at some of the churches have them, dude. The Catholic Church there has them. It's insane.
Because you look like one of these conservative guys that are like, that Steven Crowder that saving themselves for marriage. Are you out getting pussy? What's going on? Like,
no,
what's
it's funny.
Deal?
I'm not conservative at all. I'm actually pretty liberal. Like, all these like right wing sites, share my stuff. But dude, the left has gone so far left. I mean, I'm in the middle now. I mean, dude, do I care if two dudes get married? I could give two shits. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and do I think we should have? I think we should have universal health care. I think like it's gonna suck dick. It's gonna be shitty health care, but everybody should be able to go in and not have to pay $5,000 for an ambulance. That doesn't make any sense. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff where I'm not conservative at all. Like we should have we could fix. For me, the military-industrial complex, dude, that takes up so much of our money, and we go and fight these wars like we're about to get in World War III. That makes me sick. I'm a conflict interventionist. I hate the war. I hate the war in Iraq. I don't think as human beings, like I love pets. So I couldn't imagine getting a gun and shooting a human. Like I just, you know what I mean? Yeah. I just think it's sick. The idea that we're fighting wars for basically banks. So, that's why I don't like a lot of these people on the right, because they're all like war hawks. Like Lindsey Graham's like, oh, I want another, carrier, and I want another nuclear submarine. It's like, dude, we don't even need
their head
all
on
this
a
shit.
stick.
I mean, dude, there's a meme. There's a meme, and it's a picture of a guy that's a soldier, and it says soldier makes $60,000 a year shooting a gun, shooting a rocket that's $80,000 at a person that makes $0 a year. So nobody, nobody benefits from that. Yeah. It's literally just murder.
It's a lose-lose situation. Yeah,
it's a lose-lose. And dude, we, like Bob says, we have serious problems. We had over 100,000 drug overdose deaths this year. Over 100,000, the most we've ever had in history. In our border Kamala Harris won't even go to the Texas-Mexico border. I'm in Dallas. Like, I see every day I go to Bachman Lake, and it's not every day that I see the people, but there'll be a bus, will drop them off, and it'll be like a guy, like a 40-year-old, and he's not even Mexican. He's like something else because they're short. He'll have a backpack. They'll have a mask on. They'll have a T-shirt fresh from Walmart, and he'll have like 2 kids with him walking around. And I'm like, what in the hell? This is not, you can just tell their eyes are big. They've never seen Dallas, and they drop them off, and like, it's kind of a Mexican area, but it's like a nice Mexican area. So they're like, what? This is not what I'm used to. And dude, we are not fixing any of our problems here, and we're about to go fight World War III. Dude, it took them 6 months to approve $600 stimulus for us, and they gave them $1.7 trillion in 24 hours. They gave them $16 billion in 24 hours, dude, and they will not do that for us. So it's like, that's why I'm not anti-government. We need to have a government. We have to have rules. Like, if you buy a house, you don't want somebody to just come take it from me. But at the same time, the government, the system that we have now is like, it doesn't help the people. It doesn't benefit. So I'm not like some ultra conservative, like, let's give our, let's, and like even capitalism, like some of these businesses, dude, I'm in the car business, and I'm not that great in the car business. I'm not trying to, but there's one thing, since I have a dealer's license, when I sell somebody a car, I have to either sell it to them with a, what it's called an as is, telling me, they're buying it as is, with issues, and I have to list the issues. And if I don't sell like that, I have to get it inspected, and I have to make sure that it has no issues. So that's government intervention, because I can get in trouble for selling a car if I knowingly had issues. So that is why it's kind of good. The government kind of helps people, poor people. I mean, obviously car dealers can figure out every way to trick somebody still, even with the rules in place. And some people just don't follow them. But I'm saying some of those rules do help somebody. You know what I mean? So I do think we should have rules. But at the end of the day, dude, our system right now is so screwed up. So that's why, like, the reason why I actually got kind of popular is I would go to these meetings and talk serious, Bob. I was like, man, you guys are doing this lockdown. There's this 81-year-old guy. I keep on talking about Bachman Lake. I walk there every morning with my dogs. It's right down the street from my house. So this is the thing. There was an 81-year-old guy. He would walk his dog every day, and I stopped seeing him. I had his number, and I texted him. His name was Rudy, and I was like, Rudy, why aren't you ever at the lake? Are you okay? Are you alive? He's like, I don't like changing my colostomy bag in the porta potty because they closed the bathrooms. And this is an outdoor lake. This is an outdoor lake. And he's like, yeah, I don't. So I was so fired up about that. I was like, I'm going to go speak at city council. Dude, they didn't care at all. It took them months to open the park. And so that's when I realized, man, I got to be goofy. I got to be crazy. I got to act as absurd as possible. And in one of the meetings, I said a joke at the beginning. I go, yeah, our mayor is called Mayor Johnson. And I was like, yeah, we should call, I go, Mayor Johnson, you should call it Mayor Johnson's Free Johnson & Johnson, because the gay community loves double entendres. And I go, and you're the first openly gay mayor of Dallas, and he's married with like 3 kids. He's not gay at all. But I just said that joke. Dude, he was pissed. He was like, I could just tell that triggered him. So I was like, oh, okay, off to the races. Let's just get as crazy as possible. Let's say whatever we can. Because if I go there and say something serious, like there'd be guys like, the Child Protective Services took, my kid because I got a DWI and I'm really a good person, please help me out. They wouldn't care. They'd be like, yo, whatever, loser. And so I realized, man, I got to put the heat on them. I got to act as absurd as possible to put them on ice skates. So they're not the one that's making us all nervous. I want to make them nervous. So, I mean, I guess like what I'm trying to say is I was trying to do it like very virtuous at first, thinking I could make change. But all these politicians, as soon as they get elected, they think they're rock stars and they think we work for them. And that's not the case. They work for us. And none of these politicians believe that anymore. Like I said, they literally think, oh, I won the election. I'm the coolest guy. I'm a city council member of Dallas, Texas. Yeah, you're a piece of shit. Nobody gives a crap. So do not act like that. Actually help some people. So even our politicians, even at the lowest level, don't really care about you. And so that is like what I guess I'm trying to expose, the hypocrisy. And you look at guys like Howard Stern. Well, let me say this last one. Once you get power, you can either be good with it, like maybe like a guy like Jay Leno, or you're evil with it. You really only have 2 choices with all that power, because it's almost like a burden. So these people, when they get it, usually they don't help people. So I'm not saying every politician sucks, but about 90% of them do.
Yeah.
Now, do you get nervous when you get it? Because for me, I mean, if I were to go to a city council meeting and do some shtick like you do, like I would be fucking terrified and nervous. But you seem to be, you let it roll right up. I mean, are you nervous at all, or are you just like, fuck it, I don't give a shit?
Well, there's 2 things. Okay, so Bob knows this as a comic. It's easier to make a room of like 150 laugh than it is 15 people. So what I'm saying is like kind of like having the energy in there, the negative energy, it kind of helps, that it's actually a room. Like if you're trying to do an open mic with nobody in there, it kind of sucks. But if you're in a room with 30 or 40 or 50 people, it kind of gives you a good anxiety. It's not a bad thing. It's like, oh, now it's time to perform because somebody's actually watching. And then also it's like, you have the normal anxiety, but it's like, dude, it's almost anxiety. Once you're up there, that all goes away. And it's so that I would almost compare it to an open mic, basically. And for me, I'm extra nuts because I know that it's being streamed and recorded. So I'm really performing for the camera. I'm performing at the camera, so it's like if you're in a studio like we're doing, I can kind of turn off that fear.
Are you paying attention though to the reactions? Like, because I could imagine, I see the camera on you, but for me, I would be looking at everybody's like horrified reactions around me. Are you paying attention to how people are reacting to this when you're in the room, or you're just like, fuck it, I'm doing this and I'm looking right
Rob,
at the camera?
You're exactly right. So there's this a famous hockey player, Darian Hatcher. He played for the Stars. He's like a Hall of Fame hockey player. And there's other boxers that say this. And they say they can't get in the game till they get that first hit. So what I'm saying is, like, when I'm watching them and they're giving me that negative energy, that negative look, it kind of amps me up. You know, it makes me want to like turn it up. I like that. Like I'd rather them give me this like, mean look, than just them, not looking at their cell phone, not paying attention. So that actually, it pumps you up. It's kind of like that punch in the face. I like to get that. I like to, when their reaction goes from they're kind of smiling like, oh, next up is Alex Stein, and then all of a sudden their jaw drops. So that's when I got him. That's when I'm like, oh, let's go. And they're saying, and that's when I get them like that, I go.
Now that's these things, like you can go back to the same one to speak at any time. They can't say no to you, right?
No, Bob. So how it works, they can't say no. And as long as you don't go there and like say the N-word or, say like literal hate speech, or wear like a, Klan rally, wear like some KKK outfit, I think you'll be fine. Because there's actually a lawsuit in Malibu. I became friends with the mayor pro temp in Malibu, but like a guy got arrested for wearing a Klan thing. He was like trying to make a point. So there's other people. It's kind of a hacky bit. I'm not the first person to speak at a city council member meeting, but I'm just like the first to do it and post it on. Well, and posted on social media, and like really, like a lot of people were doing this and complaining about stuff before me. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, as long as you kind of follow the rules, but certain cities have different rules, Bob. Like, so Dallas, they're so annoying. It's like this, kind of liberal city now. And how it works is there you can only speak once a month. And one time it had been 29 days since I spoke. And I went up there and the mayor could have let me speak, but he said no. And dude, I was like, dude, just let me speak my 3 minutes. Me sitting here arguing about you not giving my 3 minutes is going to take more than 3 minutes. They got a cop to drag me out of there. I mean, grab me out. I mean, they dragged me out. Yes. So dude, as long as you sign up right and it's like you follow within the rules, you have your First Amendment right to say anything. But like some places have like a little rule, like you can only speak so many times, yada, yada, yada. Yeah. So Bob, like to answer your question, dude, you can go up there and say whatever the heck you want, as long as it's like literally not what they determine hate speech. And they got to let you go up there and speak.
I love it that you can go up once a month. I love it because I know the fear as they see you coming, and they just know that we are going to go through this the whole time that he's allowed to be up there, and we have to deal with this.
They got to give you your time. Yeah.
Okay, and let me tell you this.
After him.
Yeah, they do. But let me tell you this. So I've been calling into the New York City, city council, but like I speak on some, sometimes I've been goofy when I call in, but like my family, we're also in the bail bond business. And this is the problem with New York City is they've gotten rid of bail bonds. And the reason why bail bonds are important is they say it's racist. They're trying to do it under social justice. But the reason why bail bonds are important, they make sure if somebody's out on bond that they go to court. Our police system is not able to arrest somebody for a crime and then rearrest them for not going to court. And these criminals know that they're easy. They have a bail reform system. They can just get out of jail. They can commit a felony. They can rub feces on a girl's face in the subway and get out of jail the same day. So those criminals, they go to jail. They meet other criminals that say, oh, you should move to New York. That's where criminals can live, because there is no bond. Because these people, like I said, you sign the same form you sign for a public defender. You can sign and say, I need to be let out of jail because I don't have money. And so they say, oh, that's social justice. We got to let you out. But I just spoke at a meeting. They haven't posted it yet. And I was on my phone, so I couldn't screen record it. But I laid into the New York City Council. It was a criminal justice reform thing. I'm like, you guys are idiots. You guys got people rubbing poop on people's faces and getting out of jail the same day. How do you think this is ever going to get better? So it's like a controlled demolition. So I guess what I'm saying, some meetings I do like to talk seriously. It's not going to get a bunch of hits. It's not going to get 1 million hits on the internet. Yeah. Sometimes I do want to say stuff because I do want to call out this crazy sicko world we're living in. When I see like a city like New York, in my opinion, America goes the way of New York City. However New York City is doing, it kind of America goes that way. And because they're letting New York City die, our country's dying with it, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. You're totally right about that. I mean, this is why this world needs an Alex Stein. Time 99.
Wow, that makes me feel good you saying that, Bob.
No, it definitely is. I mean, I'm one of your biggest cheerleaders, you know what I mean? But I do have a cock, and I'll always have one. But the whole thing is,
it'll hang out of your little skirt.
And Bob, you've banged more chicks than a lot of guys. A lot of guys would love to have as many chicks as you've banged. Not trying to kiss your butt, but you're a heterosexual male. We know that is what I'm trying to say. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, you know what I mean? I like what I like, and that's what you're supposed to enjoy life. That's what life is about, is achieving your dreams and happiness, and that's what we all go for. And people are trying to stop that, and there's people like you out there that are saying, hey, man, I want you to see how fucking ridiculous you really look, and I'm going to do it. And that's why I have so much respect for you, because you have the talent. You have everything's going to happen for you because of the fact that you have goals, you have the talent, you have the bravery, and it's going to happen. And I know that. There's no doubt in my mind.
That makes me feel so good. Wow, thank you, Bob.
I never put my money on somebody. I never put my money on somebody and was wrong. Okay, truthfully. And I've been doing this a long fucking time, and I never fucking been wrong. You're gonna blow up. You are gonna blow up like a car bomber. And
I'm gonna bring you with me. I hope, Bob. I hope you're right, man. That means that the world's with you, because. Well, I know, and Bob, like I said, dude, I respect you. This isn't the Kiss Bob's hour or Kiss Bob's butt hour, but dude, nobody's paid more dues than I think Bob Levy, in my opinion. I mean, you've been to the pinnacle of comedy. You've seen it all. So, like, your opinion, you really have an eye. You're kind of like that. You're smoking the cig. Like, you are that guy that knows. You're like the old comedian that knows exactly what comedy is. You're like the comedy connoisseur. You're like, and that's why I respect you so much. So that's why I really mean that. That means like the world. I really appreciate that, Bob.
No, I mean, I appreciate what you do, and like, we were excited, you know what I mean? Like, I don't get excited over a guest.
That's right. Bob's got a new crush.
No, I don't like that. No, but
let's get an Alex Stein bell.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that certain people have the talent. Certain people have the balls, and to be able to go out and be honest about everything. And it's not many out there, and it's going to shine. It's going to go to the top again. You know what I mean? Because nobody, Lizzo has a bunch of fat women audition for a band that's on a show, and it's like, but it's like, it's basically they audition them. I had to watch it for Miserable Men. They made me watch it, but it's fat people auditioning. And they basically get so out of breath after 2 minutes. It's hilarious. You know what I mean? Because
that's my favorite show. My favorite show is my 600-pound life, Bob. And the reason why is there's always a 650-pound woman that always has a boyfriend, and there's always a 650-pound man somehow always has a girlfriend. I don't know how the hell those fat asses have those girlfriends. It's just funny. Yeah, I mean, I'm single too. So what does that say about us? But it's funny how we like watching big fat people be kind of a mess. Like, that's why they liked Artie during his mess years. You know, it's something about that.
Better.
Yeah, but the whole thing is, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're saying you're single, and I wrote something about how much I adored you. I think I wrote on Twitter, and some woman goes, I'm way ahead of you with you. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. Like, she jumped me, like, get back, bitch. And it was good, because now you have women. Women fucking want a guy that is confident. Women want a guy that fucking is truthful. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, sometimes you don't look good in that outfit. You need to be told.
Yeah, dude, when you try to lie to a girl and you put up that scheme, that's the worst thing. That's like one thing on these dates. You kind of have to be brutally honest, because if you like try to put up a front, like you got all this money, you got all this stuff, you're always going to get caught in the end. And trying to keep up the charade is stressful, so you don't even get to enjoy the relationship. So that's true. You know, honesty is the biggest thing. And like, I think girls, like you said, it's comedy. If you're genuine, people can tell if you're genuine. People can tell if you're bullshitting. So that's why it's better to be honest. Unapologetically yourself is what they say.
No, definitely. Now plug all your stuff and that shit, man. This has been great. I'd love to.
Alex Stein, everybody.
Guys, Primetime Stein on Instagram, Alex Stein 99 on Twitter. I'm on YouTube as Alex Stein. I can't tell you, Bob, I don't want to sit here and kiss your butt, but I've watched thousands of hours of you. So it's like an honor to actually get to talk to you and communicate. And dude, the fact that you said those nice things, man, that really does mean a lot because I really respect your opinion. And guys, man, thank you all for having me on. I really appreciate it.
It was a pleasure having you, Alex. And of course, everybody follow him at Alex Stein 99 on Twitter. We love you. And thank you for coming on the program.
Yeah,
and,
thank you.
Anytime.
I'm glad you love
Sorry
Bob
about
as
last
much as
week.
he does.
I know Bob was mad at me, but
I wasn't mad.
No, I know you don't care. But listen, now they kind of want to give me a job. Now they're like thinking about giving me a job at the Blaze, but it's like, which would be good. I would take the job. I will take it. But at the same time, it's like,
you want Bob to write you a misspelled resume?
No, I want Bob on the show. I want Bob to co-host, honestly. But
he's like, truthfully.
But I'm saying that audition was like an audition. It was like a really big thing, Bob. If it wasn't that big a thing, I wouldn't cancel. So that's all I was saying.
I knew it was, and I said like Rob said he thinks you're mad. I'm like, mad? No, I'm happy. See, that's what it is. Dude. When you have confidence, you're happy about people.
Yeah.
Go ahead, do whatever.
Guys
you
like
know
us.
what I mean?
And Bob, a rising tide raises all the ships. If I can just get any sort of notoriety, I'm telling you, I'm going to go back to the guys that I looked at when I was a kid. But I'm telling you, when I was listening in 2004, 2005, I was in high school. That you were the coolest fucking guy I knew when I was in high school, and I still think you're cool. I go back and still listen to this day. So I'm always going to feel that. So the fact that if I get big, Bob, I'm going to try to do whatever I can. If I can do anything to ever help you, I would do it in 2 seconds because
Alex, we're not like women here.
Awesome.
We support each other. We're men.
Yeah,
we want each other to succeed. We're not like women trying to tear each other down in this horrible world. We want you to succeed.
But like I said, Bob, I've been watching you since I was 14 years old, and just like, dude, it was the coolest. It was all that stuff. So it's just an honor to finally get to, shoot the shit.
It's an honor here, brother. But if I ever said to you, but I've been watching you since you've been 14, that would be creepy.
Yeah.
Okay, in the show. That's the end of the show. It's time to go. That's the joke there.
Here comes
thank
the
you guys for
Alex
listening
Stein,
to Levyland. This is what it's about. It's about real feelings and real fucking life. And we love you all. We'll see you next week. Oh, next week I'm going to be away, so maybe we'll do a Monday show. How about that, folks? We'll do a Monday at a certain time because I have to go out of town. I'm going to Nevada and then Arizona. If you're in that area, hit me up. I'll tell you where I am. If not, I don't give a fuck because I just live my life. Let me tell you something. I am like a fucking airplane without a pilot. I just go.
Good. I hope
if I hit a mountain, I'm okay. If I hit a mountain, it's fine. But it doesn't matter. But I'm in control. And I love you all. We'll see you next week. Peace, motherfucker.
Follow Alex Stein. Thank you, everybody.
See you guys.
Stein 99.